fast food workers, what is your sir? This is a Wendy's moment. This is really weird that this became a meme, because I swear this is true. In about 95 I was driving from New England to Florida for a college spring break trip. Somewhere in South Carolina we stopped at a Wendy's. Near the hallway to the bathrooms they had a big map of South Carolina, and I said to a person, can you tell me where we are? I was pretty clearly indicating the map. The lady said, honey, you in the Wendy's. I was like, thanks, okay. So no Big Macs. One time this older dude rushes up to order and slams a coupon on the counter saying I want this. I pick it up, it has menu items for KFC. I ask him what exactly would you like to order. He instantly gets disgruntled with me for not reading his goddamn mind and shakes his finger at the coupon and said, well, whatever is on the coupon. Obviously, in a condescending tone. I just look at him for a minute and say, word for word, sir, this is McDonald's. I don't know what you want me to do with this KFC coupon. He looks at me dumbfounded, then looks behind me at the menu and around the store, yells AWH shit, like this isn't his first time walking into the wrong establishment, grabs the coupon and storms off. You don't have tables? Nope. It'll just have the general chicken. This is a Pizza Hut, fine. Just a few egg rolls. How about a pizza? Why would I order pizza at a Chinese restaurant? Yeah, right. That would be stupid. Reading through this thread is starting to convince me that dishwashing was actually the lucky position. I worked at a liquor store a few years back. One day a man walks in and puts 2 bottles of whiskey down. And as I'm scanning the bottles I make the usual small talk. How's your night going? The man took a deep breath and looked me in the eyes and says, well, I just walked in on my 14-year-old son completely naked video chatting a refkin middle-aged man. So it could be a lot better. I didn't quite know what to say. So I told him, oh, that's not good. Enjoy your drinks. Dude came to drive through. I opened the window, sir. How can I help you? I'm out at checks. He replies calmly, not sure I follow you. I say, I'm out at checks. He says again more impatiently, right. I heard you, but I don't know what you want me to do about it. You can pay with cash or card too. Dude gives me a weird look, then says, oh, this ain't the bank, and peels out away from the window. I'm a pharmacist. I used to work at Target and they hired a new girl who had previously worked at Walmart to work the fitting rooms and by default the intercom system. A few days after she started she was about to make an announcement over the intercom and I guess habit took over because she started the announcement with attention Walmart shoppers. She realized her mistake and made a good recovery with, you are in the wrong store. I was working at Brahms and this guy went on a whole rant about how Queen and all the bands from the 70s 80s are working with government to erase memories. All because he heard a lyric wrong. You all won't believe the amount of disappointed rich people who come to Panda Express and find out we aren't serving authentic Chinese food. Once a well-traveled rich woman came into Panda Express and stood at the buffet line for about 10 minutes. Critiquing our mistakes and explaining how Chinese cuisine doesn't actually have fried wontons with cream cheese filling, ma'am. We just fry what came in the bag from a warehouse in California. Not fast food. But I was a hostess at Carrabba's. I answered the phone and a woman asked if were we located at such and such intersection. I told her no and gave her the correct directions. She insisted I was wrong and that we were located at such and such. I told her that I think she had us confused with another Italian restaurant chain, Johnny Carinas. She still disagreed and tried to argue. I finally just basically said that I'm standing in the building, that I work in 5 days a week. I'm pretty sure I know the location of my physical body and hung up. I worked at a pizza place and I got a complaint that we delivered sushi. It was a pepperoni pizza, but he could not be convinced. I worked at a Chipotle for 4 years and got some pretty interesting requests, but I'll never forget the time someone ordered soup. Chipotle doesn't have soup. I promptly reminded her this was a Chipotle, but she insisted we could do it. So we made her soup at Chipotle. It was the grossest concoction of bean juice, sophronitis mild, medium and hot salsa, and sour cream. She was stoked. not a worker, but was still involved in a situation. A friend and I stopped into a Hardee's Carl's Jr. for breakfast, ordered our food, and sat down. The place was totally empty except for us. Maybe a minute after we sit down, an older guy walks in and goes up to the counter. While the guy's ordering, a Hardee's employee shuffles over to us very quickly, but quietly. They really quickly say, "I'm sorry guys, but could you move to another table? The gentleman at the counter comes in here every day for breakfast and he always sits here." My friend and I confusedly glance at each other, and the worker looks over his shoulder real quick before looking back. Please hairs. Not all there. If this table isn't empty, hell get really confused and hell panic. Please. My friend and I gather our stuff and really quickly jump up before the old timer can see that we were at this table and move to a booth in another part of the dining room. The employee looked so relieved he was about to cry. Sadly that Hardee's closed permanently about a month later. I'm late, but I used to work at Taco Bell as a drive-thru guy. I just took people's orders, took their money, and gave them their receipt. Basically. So there's the usual script you follow when a customer pulls up. "Hi, welcome to Taco Bell. How are you?" And 90 of them say good. "Could I get a?" and carry on with their order. The kind 10 of people say good. "How are you?" and you would usually say something like pretty good. "Thanks for asking. What can I get for you today?" Well, one time, I got an outlier. I asked "Hi, how are you?" and defying all convention, this man on the other end, in a country accent, responded, "Sadly we're not doing too well." It wasn't in a dignified way either. Dude sounded legit upset about something. I was just bewildered. I had no idea what to say. I think after like 5 seconds of silence I was like, well, sorry to hear that. What can I get for you tonight?" The speaking part of that job is so routine that you become a customer service robot. Then this sad guy comes through and actually is honest about his current mood, and it just threw me off entirely. I worked at the concession stand at a movie theater in high school. This guy orders a popcorn and large diet Pepsi, comes back to the counter like 10 minutes later complaining that his soda is carbonated. I explained to him that all of our sodas are carbonated, and he asks me if we had a microwave. We did. So he wants me go into the back and microwave his soda. He wants it warm, but not too warm. Went to the back and had to pour the soda into 2 different cups because the original wouldn't fit into the microwave. Truly bizarre experience. Worked at McDonald's. We would always get people that would ask for a Whopper burger, either seriously or trying to be funny. Cue the exhausted "We don't sell Whopper, sir, ma'am. We have the Big Mac." In response, usually we get an "Oh, right, okay, one of those." Until one day we had a guy come through drive-thru that asked for a large Whopper meal, and instant reply back, "Sir, we don't sell Whoppers here. We have Big Macs or quarter pounders or McChickens." He replied, "No, I don't want that. I want a Whopper me, sir. We don't sell those. This is a McDonald's. The closest equivalent would be a Big Mac, but it's not a Whopper. If you want an actual Whopper burger you need to go to Hungry Jack's Burger King." Reply, "A fking Whopper meal me." "Okay sir, I can't give you a Whopper meal here, but I can order a Big Mac meal for you. The Big Mac is the closest equivalent we have, but it is not a Whopper. Are you happy with the large Big Mac meal instead?" Him, "Yes." Was that so hard? We give him a large Big Mac meal, and sure enough 10 minutes later he is back through the drive-thru screaming into the speaker that he hasn't gotten his Whopper burger. Edit. RIP my inbox. First of all, thanks everyone for the cake day wishes. I didn't even notice. Second of all, to address the Big Mac I sent the equivalent comments. At the time, I was just thinking he was ordering the standard signature burger from the menu, of which the Whopper is the signature burger of Hungry Jack's, and the Big Mac is the signature burger of McDonald's. It didn't cross my mind to think of quarter pounders as closer to the actual Whopper burger, because well, to a teenager making minimum wage and not going through the list options, that could be the possible equivalent. All I could do was explain we don't have Whoppers at McDonald's. Here is what we sell. You don't want to listen, fine. Are you happy with X alternative instead? You said yes. Great. Take your burger and PSS off. Some people have pointed out the McFeast and Quarter Pounder Deluxes as nearly the same burger to the Whopper when I worked at McDonald's, which was 8 years ago. QPD weren't a thing, never heard of it to this day actually. I don't eat at Macca's much, and the McFeast at the time was a limited edition menu item. It came and went seasonally. I believe now it's a standard menu item. But at the time it wasn't always available, and certainly not when this incident occurred. And yes, I'm from Australia. Burger King is known as Hungry Jack's here, because when Back first arrived to Australia there was already a small chain of locally owned burger restaurants in Sydney called Burger King. I worked at Dunkin', and one time a customer came through the drive-thru and complained to us that the drive-thru was built in a way that made it hard to drive. She started yelling at my co-workers, so I just put down what I was doing and told her mom we cannot change the construction of the building. Like seriously though, what she want us to do? I just make sandwiches, edit. Thank you for the award, strangers. I don't check Reddit that often, but it made my day. Working at Home Depot, I got my face ripped off because this lady wanted to return a label maker and nothing that we scanned came up in our system. She demanded a manager supervisor, and that's when I stepped in. What seems to be the problem, lady? I'm trying to return this product and you guys are telling me I can't. Well, unfortunately, when we go to scan it in our system, nothing comes up. Are you certain you got it at Home Depot? Her. Absolutely, ma'am. I apologize, but if it doesn't come up in our system, there's no way for me to refund you. If you can provide a receipt, I'd be more than happy to help you. Her. Storms off angrily. Hours later she comes back. Her. Hey Sue, I want to apologize. Her. I found the receipt for the label maker. It was from Office Depot. We had a good laugh, and I told her I appreciated her coming back in. I worked at a bakery, and it was not uncommon about 10-12x year for guys in their 30-40s to bring their dates in and place large imaginary orders. They'd look at the case and flip through some photos, then come up to the counter and be all gross schmoozy, rubbing up on their date like, baby, anything you want. You can't decide which flavor, mom. Put me down for one cake in each flavor. One whole cake. One donut. Every flavor. Put a heart decoration on each one. After the first couple times we started pretending to write it on scratch paper and threw the paper away at the end of the night. They'd never schedule a time or date to pick up, and if you tried to take the order seriously and get details, they'd get rude as duck. Cause I guess yelling at employees was also seen as sexy in this scenario. It had to have been like one guy at a workplace who did it and told all his friends, because it was so ducking weird and I've never heard of it being a thing elsewhere.